welcome to another episode of The Horror Ghouls, your podcast for movie recaps and nonsense and insanity of all shapes and stuff. How's that? That was good, right? Great. You're like, yes. So, I'm gonna go straight into what we're gonna talk about tonight. We are walking down a street that looks ordinary under daylight. There's quiet houses, there's trimmed lawns, but when the sun goes down, Elm Street, you know where this is going, becomes something else. A place where nightmares don't stay inside your head, and a certain razor-gloved shadow is always waiting just beyond the edge of sleep. So we could only be talking about 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street, written and directed by our boyfriend, Wes Craven. I don't know if he's our boyfriend. I'm just saying.
Yay.
There's so much enthusiasm tonight. Just
There is.
deep levels of enthusiasm. So we're just gonna get right into this movie, guys. It's gonna be kind of a speed run. We're gonna see what happens. It might get weird. It usually does. So let's see what happens. When we open up the movie, we see one of our main characters, Tina. She's running in a basement or like a sewer or like a combo. She finds herself in a boiler room where she is chased by a man in a ragged red and green sweater. She wakes up suddenly because we find she was dreaming, and her mom comes in to check on her and notice that Tina's nightgown is ripped. So her mom thought she was doing something weird in her sleep, actually. She was
She's
like,
like, you gotta cut those fingernails or stop having these nightmares. If I could stop having these nightmares, I wouldn't have them. I'm cussing already.
that's all right. Just put a slap a dolphin noise.
Yeah, it'll be bleeped out.
Oh, help us, E.T. Jesus. Okay. We then immediately move to a very essential chant to this franchise, which is, I will recite it for you.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, constabulate. 9, 10, never sleep again.
This is always recited by little kids with like
Ooh.
a jump rope, you know?
Yeah.
So we actually see them kind of off to the side, but then we see Tina and her friends. We meet Nancy, Glenn, young Johnny Depp, precious. They're walking to school after Glenn parks his convertible. Very, very nice red fancy car that I don't know the make or model of. It's fine. And Tina's telling them about her dream. Nancy kind of vaguely mentions, like, I also had a dream, but no one cares. It's just a stupid dream. Tina's boyfriend, Rod, who's totally like a D-bag, runs up on them and is being gross, but then runs away. Like we get a very quick introduction of Rod. He's like the bad boy. So Tina and Rod are a couple. Nancy and Glenn are also a couple, FYI. Tina is asking Nancy, like, what did you dream about? Because it sounded interesting. But Nancy's like, doesn't matter. Who cares? Everyone goes to school. Later, what I assume is that night, Tina, Nancy, and Glenn are at Tina's house because Tina's mom is out of town. Nancy and Tina finally discuss Nancy's dream, and Nancy confesses she had a dream about a guy in a dirty red and green sweater, and he had like a knife claw type of thing. She also was like, it looks like he made it himself. Like, how do you know that? But Tina's like, that's the same dream as I had. So then Rod shows up and is being a pain in the butt, and all the teens separate to do their teen things, the quintessential horror movie, go upstairs and engage in activities.
Which I just have to say,
Please.
I was so annoyed by the sex scene between Tina and Rod. It was annoying because it was just so loud and obnoxious, and it made me be like, I can't wait for them to get killed. So
It was loud and obnoxious even to the other characters in the movie too, where they were like,
because they weren't getting none on, because
bruh.
Nancy was like, no, we're not here to do that. We're here to support Tina. So while she's up there getting her meat slapped, we're gonna chill. We're not
Uh,
even gonna sleep in the same area.
yeah, what? You can't even like hang out with you can't even like lay on the couch with your man? Like what?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know about this Nancy lady. And for her troubles, while she's sleeping in Tina's bed alone, a crucifix falls right on her. But also, I do want to bring your attention to, so Tina and Rod, they're laying in Tina's mom's bed, I guess. Rod says something to the effect of like, oh, like I hope neither of us have nightmares anymore. So it turns out that like Rod also had a weird dream. Just an interesting thing. It's starting to pop up kind of around the the kitties here. Back to Nancy in the bed. The crucifix falls, she shrugs it off and goes back to sleep. And then at the same time, Tina wakes up because she hears a sound against the window. She tries to wake Rod to no avail and goes to investigate. She hears her name being whispered from outside, which is never a good sign, really. And again, while this is happening back where Nancy's sleeping, we get a fun, cool effect where it seems as though the wall is like stretchy. This is one of our first like fun effects, and it's just like hands and a face that push through the wall and are like looking down at Nancy. And it disappears before she can fully notice it, but she seems like she feels a presence because she does look. But it's too late, it's gone. Tina, now, breaking all the horror movie rules, goes outside to investigate by herself as she hears her name continue to be whispered. She walks into an alley near her house, not just even outside her house, into an alley, and sees first a shadow, and then a man emerges. A man, our slasher. And he's also wet for some reason. He's like gooey. Did you notice that? That I was
Yeah.
like,
He's a little
why?
sweaty.
It was a little sweaty. He was very sweaty. It was gross. It was,
I feel like it's like the effect of your skin melting from heat or something.
yeah,
So
that makes sense.
it was just kind of gooey.
I haven't seen this one in a while. I've seen this movie a bazillion times, but I'm not used to seeing him moist. So I was
There's
just
the
like,
word.
there it is, everyone. Sorry for setting your teeth on edge. Or maybe I'm not. I haven't decided. Uh, so we see our slasher. His arms also get very weirdly long. And I think we've talked about this before, this effect, because you can actually see like the strings that hold him up. It was a little better on the version I just watched. It wasn't as apparent, but definitely on the old VHS, you could see all them strings. Um,
Yeah. I believe they had puppeteers too, like holding them off camera or something.
yeah.
Uh, because it was very weird. They said that they got a good laugh of that while they were recording it. They
Did
said it was
they?
very funny. Yes. Everybody on set was laughing at it because it looked ridiculous.
Oh, wow. Okay. So his arms weirdly long. Everyone's laughing behind the scenes, apparently. And then he also creepily chases her down the alley, but like weird, like a gallop. Like I don't even know how
They're
to.
both running in slow motion. It was so weird because
Yeah.
you would think that like they would be really running,
No.
but like Tina is like doing that slow motion fast run that girls do in horror movies in her
Right.
put nightgown, basically. And he's like waddling, galloping
He
after
is.
her with his
It was
long
giving
arms.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like he was like, "Ah, I'm gonna get you." Also, when we were talking about you were talking about running just now, reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Do you remember the
Yes. The run, they were so tired that she was like, I gotta slow down. And they were like, okay, just pretend you can like catch her, but you can't. Because they were like almost running in place to the point where he could touch her. And
It was
she's like,
so bad.
ah, ah.
Terrible. Thanks a lot, Toby Hooper. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I know you still have beef with Toby Hooper. It's okay. Um,
Toby, I'm gonna put something over that though.
uh-oh. I just dropped my ring. Oh my God, everything's ruined. It's fine. Everything's fine. So,
Do you need to
um,
get it? We can cut it out. Well, we can't cut it out Spotify
no, we
or
can't.
Apple.
It's fine, everyone. I'll just be ringless on one hand. It's fine. So, one of the things that was cool about this too is after he chases her and she's kind of stops, she stops running and looks around. It's like, oh my gosh, where is he? And he just pops out kind of from behind a tree or like a bunch of bushes. He just like pushes them away. And then he stands there and he's like, hey, Tina, or whatever. And he just like cuts his fingers off. And they
Yeah.
were just spurting, almost, it looked like green
It was green.
too.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
green.
like almost like a radioactive fluid. But also he's smiling, so that's disconcerting if someone's smiling at you and chopping their fingers off. So
Right.
yeah, that was a fun time. So he prevents her from getting into the house and she reaches for his face and it kind of just peels away. So we have a lot of fun practical effects here. But now we see back in the bedroom, it appears that Tina never left. She has just fallen asleep. So everything that just happened in the sequence was all in her dream state. But we see in reality, she is being attacked and she is bleeding. We see she, like, as she gets sliced by like an invisible force almost, Rod wakes up and He cannot see her attacker, same thing, but he's seeing she's getting dragged up the wall and across the ceiling, and there's like blood everywhere.
Wait,
Um,
wait. The
yes.
funniest part of this damn scene is that he gets up and like calls her name, but she swings around and slaps him in the face with her head, and he falls across the room and breaks the lamp. It was like I said, damn, he got mollywopped with her whole head. It's just, and then from there, he was like, I'm not getting close again. He's like,
He's like, I'm not getting
Tina,
hit.
from across the room. Why don't you get up and try to help? You
He
afraid to
said,
get hit in the face again?
I'm very sorry this is happening to you, but I cannot risk it. I
Right.
can't risk it. I'm sorry. He just watched. So then eventually she just falls down to the bed, gone. She's just, it's over for Tina. So at the police station, which we then go to, Nancy is being questioned by her dad, who's the police chief, question mark?
He's a
That's what I put,
lieutenant.
chief. He's the chief lieutenant. Nope, not chief, just lieutenant.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Her dad is assuming that Rod has something to do with Tina's death because he's like a delinquent, the stereotypical bad boy thing.
And he ran.
Um,
He ran too.
and he ran, right? And Nancy is becoming convinced that something supernatural is happening just because everyone had been talking about their dreams. Tina said someone was trying to kill her, blah, blah. The next day, Nancy goes to go to school, but Rod pops out and semi-abducts her while she's walking. He's just like, come here, bitch. Like, what? Like, what? Um, but then she immediately relaxes when she sees it's him, and he's like, I never touched Tina. And while this exchange is happening, Nancy's dad appears out of nowhere, seemingly, and has a gun up. And he's basically like, you're coming with me, son. But Nancy blocks her dad when he tries to give chase. But there's a bunch of backup, and so he does get apprehended anyway. Also, to the quintessential bad boy, no shirt, leather jacket.
Tight ass
Pants.
pants.
Not a Winnie the Pooh situation. Just wants to be
No.
clear. There were pants, but just the jacket and then no shirt or shoes. But at least he grabbed that leather jacket, right? So Nancy goes to school. She's clearly exhausted. She's fighting sleep in class. Sleep wins. Tina appears in her dream, bloody and in a body bag, and kind of is like beckoning to her. So Nancy follows the bloody body bag trail and we see, I always like this part. It's very creepy. I used to think she was like inchworming, like in the body bag, but then I found this time that she's on her back and it looks like she's being dragged by an
Yeah.
unseen force.
Yeah, which again is like puppeteers and a string and stuff like that, just pulling her
Yeah.
so that you can't
No,
see what's actually pulling her. It was really interesting.
they did a good job with that, I thought. Nancy, again, she follows the body bag to the boiler room where she encounters this slasher guy. He taunts her and he stalks her in his way, but she's kind of getting wise to what's happening and she sees a pipe near her and she actually burns herself on the pipe to wake up from the dream and it works. She actually also really has a burn mark, but she wakes up screaming in class. She's like, oh my God, this is freaking everyone out
And
crazily.
I do have to say right here
Yeah.
that our Lord and Savior Lynn
E.T.
Shay
Jesus?
is
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Lynn Shay is in this scene.
Yes, she
I was so
is.
excited. I was like, oh my fucking God, Lynn
Yeah.
Shay is in this movie.
We
And she's
let
like 45 years younger.
She looks so adorable.
She
Like
did. And she was like, you're gonna need a hall pass. So cute. It was
her
so
little
cute.
brown hair.
Yeah,
She's so
she was
cute.
very sympathetic to Nancy having her dream and whatnot. Unlike,
Yeah.
when you think like these teenage high school movies where someone falls asleep, typically the teacher is like, "Get out of here. You're going to detention or whatever." They're
I don't know why I
very
thought you were gonna say
angry.
hell. Get out of here, you're going.
You're going straight to hell for that. No, but but she was very sympathetic, which is a change from what you normally see in
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. No, that's true. She knows she'd been through a lot. Probably her friend had been murdered and whatnot. She leaves for the day. She leaves school. She goes to the jail to speak to Rod, and he tells her the whole story. So everything that we saw in the movie from when he woke up, I don't know if he told her about getting smacked.
No.
He left that part out conveniently, but he does confess that he had a dream about a man with knives for fingers. So that's the consistent thing here. When Nancy gets home, she hops in the bath and falls asleep, and her slasher drags her under the water of the bath, which is suddenly much, much deeper. And this is a very iconic scene because it's like she's in the bath. She has one of those old-timey like bath pillows, and she
Yeah.
kind of just knocks out. And we see like the claw just come up between her
Between her
legs.
legs.
Diabolical. But then I think in this one, because I always thought that's when it like happens, but then her mom's like, Nancy, she's like, yeah, and then it disappears.
Hmm.
But then the second time we don't see the claw, but she just gets yanked. But that claw in the bathtub, super iconic.
Who's airing out their trout like that though? In the tub. Like who sits in the tub with their legs spread open like that? That was odd. Like when they showed that part, I knew that hand was going to come out, but I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, why is her legs spread so far? Like she's in
Well,
that milk bath with her legs
I'm trying to
just
think like if you're gonna lay down in the bathtub, like how are you gonna like and you but you fall
I
asleep though. Like you don't think like you're gonna
but
like
my legs would be straight in the bed in the bathtub.
oh see, my legs are too long. So I don't know. I'm just
Well,
saying. My
I'm
legs are too long for the bathtub.
I'm 5'5", so I mean, I guess I just
You fit.
just
Okay.
fit in the bathtub, I guess, with my feet
No.
up against it, flat.
Mm-mm.
So ain't no razors coming up between my legs.
Well, you're safe from the razors. I guess I'm not, I
And so
guess.
is the roast beef, yes.
Now, great. Now something else I got to worry about. That's just great. So, so anyway, Nancy in the bathtub fighting for her life in the very deep, huge bathtub for some reason. But she manages to kind of make it out okay. Her mom hears her screaming, tries to get in, like breaks in the door, but then Nancy's like, "Oh, I fine, I just slipped getting out. Everything's fine."
Even though she was screaming for her mother that whole damn
Screaming,
time.
scream. Also, she always calls her mother,
I know, which
which I
is
find
weird.
weird. Yeah, I don't love that. After that happens, she opens the cabinet. She finds some pills to help her stay awake in the bathroom because she is not trying to go to sleep. That night, Glenn sneaks up to her bedroom by climbing the trellis on the front of her house. She gets Glenn to agree to keep watch while she goes to look for someone, and she's like, "Don't screw it up." Like they have a very loving relationship, obviously. So, in her dream, again, Nancy goes to visit the prison and witnesses Freddy sneak into Rod's cell while he's sleeping. We get some more fun practical effects in this dream sequence where Nancy then like walks home from the police station and she tries to climb the stairs of her house, but they're all basically like gooey marshmallow almost. Like that's just what it looks like to me. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
actually
It's
marshmallow.
it's pancake batter and biscuit mix,
Oh,
which kept
delicious.
drying out. So when they were doing the scene, they had to redo it many times because it kept drying out as she was walking up the steps.
Yeah, but it was like every step she took as she was trying to get. That just made me think of Bobby Brown. Every little step. They're like playing that while she's doing it. So she is going up this sticky staircase. Freddie attacks her as she's getting back in bed, and they're very weirdly rolling around together. It's like it seems like borderline romantic in a way, I guess, except for the violence. There's
Yeah.
something wrong with me that if maybe I'm identifying that as romantic, I think. I don't know.
You listen, you're the person who when Jason was like putting people up on the wall or if Michael Myers was putting somebody up on the wall, you're like, "Oh yeah." So, of course, rolling around with a man with knives for a hand, like Edward Scissorhands is
I'm
like,
like, you know what? There might be something to that. I don't know. I don't know.
you know what I just realized? It's so funny
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
because this was Johnny Depp's first movie
Yes, it was.
and he wasn't supposed to even be there. He was there with a friend, but he goes on to be Edward Scissorhands. Somebody else would. So I just thought about that. I was like, oh, how about that?
It's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I don't think that's what it's called. I just like made it just made that.
No, but I've heard something like that before. But 6 degrees of separation, but yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There is something like that where like all these people were connected. I think it was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon was the one I've heard it with the most. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like you're always like whatever many degrees. I just really ruined that. It's fine. That's very funny. So back to Freddie and Nancy rolling around. Um,
Romantically.
romantically, in my mind at least. Nothing says romance like some knives. It's fun. So Nancy's alarm goes off and she wakes up and he's not there. Freddie's not there. Unfortunately, Glenn slept through it all. He really dropped the ball this time. Nancy's mom comes to check on her as Glenn slips out the window. Nancy assures her mom she's fine. Her mom leaves. Nancy and Glenn I made a real fun typo here. I wrote LGEN. Like that's That's his
Elgin.
name again. Anyway, they run down to the police station saying they need to see Rod. We see while they're trying to get in to see him, like Nancy's pleading with the people up front. In Rod's cell, his sheets are twisting and winding around his neck while he sleeps. She's begging her dad, who is on the clock, to send someone down to check on him. She's like, "Don't even let me in, just send someone to go check on him." They enter the cell and find Rod seemingly having unalived himself from the bar, hanging from the bars of his cell. He is a goner. Nancy finally tells her parents who she thinks is responsible. There's like a flicker of concern or almost like recognition, but they're just like, no, it's everything's fine. You're fine. So Nancy's mom takes her to do a sleep study. She freaks out during the sleep study, very fast as well.
Yeah.
And I would say within like 5 minutes of falling asleep.
All these people fall asleep very fast.
Yes.
Very fast. I wish I could fall asleep like that because I know I get in the bed and it'll be like an hour before I actually fall asleep
Right.
sometimes. But they like, okay, I'm about to go meet this man. Be there in 20 minutes because I'm gonna be back. And then they lay down and fall asleep
And that's
within
it.
2 seconds
I know.
and crazy.
It really is crazy. But especially to going through like the levels of sleep because there's like multiple
Oh
levels.
yeah. You have to go through light and there's deep, there's REM. I think you'll hit REM before you hit deep though. So typically,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
So I'm not sure at what stage she starts freaking out and having these
REM.
dreams and she's being attacked. Okay.
She's in REM.
She's in REM. So they wake her up and her hair is gray. She has a big gray streak like Storm from X-Men all of a sudden. And then she like reaches under the blanket and she has a hat that she's like, "Oh my God, I brought something out of my dream with me." So like an old like wool gross hat. She also has a scratch on her arm. It looks like a cat scratch kind of. It's like
Yeah.
her mom's like, "Oh my God, but you're fine. Still, everything's fine." So I just read this like I made another typo. I'm going to tell you what it says and what I thought it said. So Nancy's mom, Marge, is acting a little shifty. I read slutty. Just Nancy's mom is acting a little slutty. Anyway, her and Nancy, now they're home, are having a heated exchange after the sleep clinic. Nancy is like, Rod didn't kill Tina. I have this hat. It says Fred Krueger inside the hat. Who is that? And her mom's like, you just need to sleep. Like you,
Right. She's on the bottle too. She's like, listen, Nancy, it's fine. It's fine, honey. Don't worry about it. Just, don't worry about that vodka bottle either. It's
no, it's
fine. It's
fine.
fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's way too fun. So Nancy at that point is just basically telling her mom how she's a terrible alcoholic too, that she's kind of letting her have it. And finally Marge just says, Fred Krueger can't come after you because he's dead and you're imagining things. Finally, Nancy storms out of the house and meets up with Glenn. And they talk about kind of other cultures like dreams. I forget what culture they mentioned.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
remember.
I didn't note that, but they were saying, and if people have bad dreams or dream of like monsters, they turn their back on the monster and kind of take the energy back, and the monsters disappear. Just might be a little foreshadowing for you, just a little
Mm.
bit. So Glenn also is noting that Nancy has a book that's all about like booby traps. And he's like, "What are you reading this for?" And she says, "I'm into survival." Love that for her. So
Mm-hmm.
that night she goes home and finds that there are bars on all of the windows of her house, and the trellis Glenn used to climb to her room has been torn down. She goes inside to confront her mom. She is pissed too. And Marge is standing there, I think pretty drunk still. But
Oh, she's drunk
she
as
has
hell.
this cigarette this time. She's like, "Hi, baby." She's just like,
Listen, I thought, to be quite honest, when this scene started,
yeah.
I said, "Oh, this girl got to be dreaming," because her mom came out with the like cigarette, just like was it like Fatal Attraction or Basic Instinct or something like that? She's just like, "Come downstairs, I got something to show you, baby." And I was like, "Oh no, she's gonna lead her to her desk because Fred's gonna be down there." Because it was just so weird. Like, just come downstairs and
Even the
follow me.
lighting, it was like blue lighting.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
weird. I
was
was like,
weird.
"Oh no."
It's very funny. So she takes her down to the cellar, she calls it. And also her mom like leads her to this, oh God, it's not a boiler. It's like the old, maybe it is like,
Furnace.
thank you. Why couldn't I think of furnace? And she kind of like perches on the edge and she's like, I have to tell you something. So years before,
Her four score.
four score And 24 years ago, the burned man that Nancy keeps seeing, Freddy Krueger, was a child murderer. I believe she said something like 22 kids lost their
I th-
lives, something about that,
yeah.
I think. And she said he escaped prosecution on a legal technicality, like something with the paperwork or something. And the parents of the town, furious, hunted him down and burned him alive. Marge believes that the revenge killing ended the threat, but Nancy is like, hmm, I don't think that's what happened. I think he's seeking vengeance by going after your children. So thanks for that. And
Also,
then, yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead
no.
for a second. Are you going to talk about what she takes out that damn furnace?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go
Yes, I
ahead
am.
first. Do that.
So, so Nancy's kind of just like, okay. So while Marge is like perched by the furnace, she's like, I have to show you something. And she reaches in and there's like an old tattered ratty like cloth thing. And she's like, I have his knife claw. She just like takes it out
Right.
that she was like keeping. And then she goes, she did good, but it's just like a weird delivery. She's like, so you see, he can't hurt you. Mommy killed him. And she's like holding the claw like while she delivers this.
Right. It's
But
very,
she also like pet it though. She's like,
she's
like
like, hold on to it like my precious. Like she's Gollum Smeagol.
yeah. So that was weird. But then after that, she's like, see, so you could go to sleep now. I'm like, yes, because anyone can go right to sleep after
Right.
hearing something like that. Like,
But my thing too is like, lady, why do you have that? Like,
why are
was
you keeping a
right.
memento
Are
like
you
a serial
predator?
killer?
You just taking like a
Yes.
souvenir for yourself after you killed someone?
But also, like, how many people did it take to accomplish that? Why did you need a mob? You
I
know?
mean, I guess it was the families of the people who it was at least 20 kids.
I kind of
So
want to know what her particular role was in it.
she had a very strong role in it, actually.
Like, did she actually yank the knife claw off his hand, like while it was
I
happening?
think
Like,
she was
what?
the person to pour the alcohol. I think she was the person to pour the accelerant on him,
Oh,
actually.
that's dark.
Okay, so Marge Thompson. She knew Freddie personally and knew he had been a child murderer. She's part of the neighborhood group that burned him alive. Donald Thompson, he was aware of the legal loopholes because he was a police lieutenant. And yeah, but they talk about them the most. They had the most to do with it, but they don't say what they did.
Okay, that's interesting. So we kind of close that part of it up and we move from there. And so Nancy and Glenn chat on the phone that night. Their houses are just a few away from each other on the same street, but just like kind of diagonal. So they can see each other when they talk on the phone. Nancy is behind bars in her house. And Nancy tells Glenn she knows who the killer is and she has a plan to pull Freddie out of her dream and wants Glenn to help her by knocking him out. She tells him to meet her at midnight and to not fall asleep. A while later, Nancy calls Glenn's house, and her parents don't allow her to speak to him because they think she's nuts. And his dad even takes the phone off the hook, which is not great because Glenn is falling asleep in his bed and no one is waking him up. The phone rings for Nancy, and she picks it up and hears, I heard like squeaking. Was there anything else that you heard from that?
No, it was just like it was the
Like static
nails.
and okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it was the claws. The sound that they kept saying the claws were making, that's what it was.
Okay, okay. So that freaks her out. She pulls the phone out of the wall because remember back in the day, everyone, the connection was through your house. Okay, so she
Yeah.
pulls it out and then she's like, oh shit, well, whatever. She's like, Glenn can't call me. But she moves to her door like she's going to leave her room, but the phone starts ringing again, despite not being connected to anything. We hear Freddie on the other end, threatening as always, and his mouth and tongue are suddenly part of the phone and it's like licking Nancy. It's like, bleh, no, thank you.
He's like, I'm your boyfriend now. And he like starts licking her tongue, kissing her through the phone.
He's sick. He's a sick freak. We
Mm,
kind of like that about him. It's okay,
I'm
okay.
sure you do.
Shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
Here
So,
you go. That means cut. No.
we did determine that that's what cut means. Yes.
Yes.
So this is just a marker for editing, everyone.
Hmm.
So Nancy runs downstairs, and her mom is chilling on the couch, super drunk, and she's like, "Locked, locked. The doors are all locked. You're not getting out of here, bitch. Like, you're gonna get some sleep tonight, whatever." While that's happening, Glenn unfortunately does fall asleep and is pulled into his bed by Freddy. This is another very iconic scene. We see the claw come out of the bed, and it's like almost like there's a hole in the middle, So he gets pulled down, his TV goes in with him, the blanket's going with him, everything. And then this enormous torrent of blood shoots up through the middle of the bed and is just like a geyser. It's hitting the ceiling. It's way too much blood for a human body as well that I will share with you. But the effect is really cool. Glenn's mom actually opens the door and is able to see this. So it seems like the dream world and real world are merging a bit, similar to Tina being dragged around the ceiling and such. And smacking Rod. That's funny visual. So that's gross. That's a gross thing that happens. So when the cops and the coroner and everyone pop up, we do see that there's blood dripping from the ceiling, like from the floor below. Like it's really not great. So Nancy, I believe she calls the house and she's talking to her dad on the phone while he's at the crime scene. And she says she's going to catch Freddy in her dream. And she does sound a little crazy at this point. She's like,
Yeah.
Daddy, I just want to tell you that I'm gonna vote. And he's like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Like,
Because I think she was on like day 12 with no sleep or something like that. She did
yeah,
say how many days she was not sleep. And she's just been like on no dose and coffee all
yeah.
this time.
So she's like, listen, come break down the door in 20 minutes, exactly 20 minutes to apprehend him. And he's like, yeah, okay, good night. Get some good sleep. So Nancy goes about setting up her booby traps, not unlike Home Alone.
And what's wild is she said, wake me up in 20 minutes.
I was just gonna say this. So I'm like, 20 minutes. So you have 20 minutes to set up all of your booby traps. And they seem really elaborate. Like she's putting powder and like light
A
bulbs.
light bulb.
She has to set up like a sledgehammer above a door. And she's like installing like slide locks on doors and stuff. That I'm like, how much
Hmm.
time do you have? Like,
She put a that thin like piano wire so that somebody could trip over it, like a
yeah,
trip wire. She was doing
it's
too much.
she was doing too much. So I'm like, how much time do you need to fall asleep? 30 seconds?
Right, because
Not
they
for
had to take
nothing.
you 30 minutes to do that.
Right. And not for nothing. Setting up all those things would definitely take longer than 20 minutes anyway. So whatever, but we'll go with it. So she also has time to put her mom to bed.
Right. She's like,
And
good night,
also
mom.
I was like, why? Because her mom was like, you're not getting out of this house, blah, blah. And then it turns to her treating her mom like an invalid almost. And she's like, good night, mommy. Like she's like brushing her hair.
I
She's like,
love you.
yeah, she's like, I just love you so much, baby girl. And whatever. So that's fine. She puts her mom to bed because her mom's too like bombed. Then she finally lays down after all this 20 minutes, the longest 20 minutes in the world, and she goes into the dream world. She descends to the boiler room and she's looking all over for Freddy. She calls out to him to show himself and she lures him into a chase. She does succeed in pulling him back into reality. She's not sure first because she wakes up and there's nothing there, so she's like stressed out. But then he pops up. It's a good jump scare because it still got me even this time that I was like, oh shit. Uh there he goes. So then there's a very big struggle back and forth, and Freddy is triggering Nancy's traps one by one, but nothing is stopping him. At one point, she's calling out her window to her dad's like deputy that's still across the street because her dad was like, "Hey, keep an eye on my house. If anything weird happens, like let me know or check it out or whatever." So she has the window open. She's yelling through the bars like, "Oh my God, help me! Something's wrong!" Like, screaming. And the guy is like, everything's fine, Nancy. It's just like, get my dad, you asshole. She's so pissed. And also, that guy was like an idiot. He finally does get her dad and co. He brings a few people, break into the house, which is now smoking because there was this exchange where Nancy threw gas, I guess, on him in the basement,
Hmm.
lit him on fire again, and then pushed his ass down the stairs too, which is cool because he went up the stairs on fire. And then she's like, no, bitch, and slammed the door, and he just rolled back down. So that was pretty cool. So they're checking out the house, but she sees there's like a trail of fiery footsteps. Like there's still fire coming out of the footsteps. And it goes up the stairs, and she follows them and finds Freddie attacking her mom in her bed. Her dad comes up too right at this moment, and he covers them with a blanket to put out the fire. And when he pulls it back, her like burned skeleton is there. And the thing it was giving poltergeist also, I want to just say
Yes.
this form. But the thing that I thought was funny, and it's not funny because it's supposed to be like, oh my God, my mom is a burned skeleton, I guess. I don't know. But the skeleton, as it like sinks into the bed, just like lifts up like a skelet's little hands. Did you notice that?
I didn't even pay attention to
It just
that.
like raised up a little bit. I'm like, is she waving goodbye? Like she's not waving, but it just
Right.
like lifts up, and I was like, that's silly. That sinks into the bed and disappears completely. The dad also, I feel like his responses are not appropriate for this, that he's just like, oh my God. And he just like hugs Nancy and then he leaves the room and she's like, I'll be right there. Like he's not like, sir, your wife was a burned skeleton like you saw with your own
Well,
eyes. And you're just
they're
like,
divorced, so I guess he didn't care anyway.
no, but like someone you have a child with, you're just like, ah, fuck them. Like, I don't care.
Pretty much. He's like, ah, well, whatever.
We
She,
had a good run.
right.
So Nancy sits on the edge of the bed, and I guess she just knows Freddy is going to come back because that's where he was last seen. She has her back to him, and he like pushes through the bed, he pushes through the sheets, similar to earlier with the face and the hands, and he reemerges. But Nancy kind of changes her tactic because before she was full out, she would like flying squirrel jump on him and shit. She has her back to him, and she's like, "I'm not giving you any power. I'm taking back all of the energy I gave you." And that does seem to like drain his power, I guess, in a sense.
Hmm.
She gets up and she goes to the door and she's about to open it, and he actually lunges at her at that moment, but he vanishes. And it looks like it's a very 80s effect too, the way he turns into almost like blue light and he disappears. So he has been defeated in this instance. Then Nancy steps out of the house into daylight. Her mother follows behind her, not a burned skeleton at all. And I like this part too. She's like, I feel great. I think I'm going to stop drinking. I don't feel like I need it anymore. And everyone's like,
Right.
yay, happy day. So everything is sunshine and rainbows. Nancy makes her way to Glenn's car, which has just pulled up with all of her friends in it, Tina and Rod, which I wrote as Rode here. That's not his name at all.
All the dead people are back.
They're all back. So as they're sitting in the car, everyone's smiling and palling around. The top of the convertible snaps closed, red and green stripes. So we know where that's going. And as we hear once again the creepy chant of one, two, Freddy's coming for you, the car speeds away with the occupants trapped inside. Nancy's mom is weirdly pulled through the tiny window in the front door, looking like she turned into a blow-up doll. That was an interesting choice, I thought. And that's our movie. We end on an ambiguous scene suggesting that Freddy's influence may not be gone after all, leaving the question of what is dream and what is reality unsettled. We don't really know. That's our
Nope.
movie. Ta-da! So yeah. So that was Nightmare on Elm Street, classic. I
Yeah.
can't believe we haven't actually done this like this whole time. We're
I
only getting
mean,
around to it now.
it takes time to get the stuff. So, I mean, I think we did things a little bit in order because we did Friday the 13th. Well, we did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then we did
Your favorite.
I know, we did Halloween, we did Friday the 13th because they all came before this.
Right.
So it's almost like we were accidentally working our way up.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
I am actually I'm not gonna show everyone. I am wearing a Texas Chainsaw sweatshirt today
Hey.
for your favorite movie. So
Right.
just a little fun fact for you. And I'm once again holding my little baby Freddy.
Oh.
He's so cute. So do we have some fun facts that we want to
Yes, yes.
share?
I can go through the budget and the reviews and the fun facts. So,
Let's do it.
the production costs for this movie varies. Some sources say that it was 1.1 million, while others say it's 1.8 million. So we don't know. So it's between
Mm,
there. The movie was shot over 32 days, and on its opening weekend, it made back its production costs. Whichever one that was, it made it
wow.
back, and it went on to gross $57 million
Wow.
worldwide.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this movie has a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, a 76% on Metacritic, and is certified fresh on with 94 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It is certified fresh.
Yeah. So the critics were really pleased with this. They thought Wes Craven was great. They praised him for the movie's quote unquote intelligent premise combined with the horrifying appearance of Freddy Krueger.
The wet
And
one, the wet look.
right, right.
Yep.
And many of them do praise him as well for the atmospheric and thematic depth of the film, considering the budget that they had, because apparently that was 1.1 or 1.8 million was not a lot for what they did,
Huh.
considering all the practical effects, because
Yeah.
almost like 99.9% of this was practical effects.
It was very, very creative with the practical effects. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this movie was also regarded as the movie that revitalized the slasher genre, earning its place as one of the greats. Now, audiences, on the other hand, stated that the movie was too scary,
I see.
and they were scared because Freddy actually talked. They were used to Jason and Michael, who were silent. So they were used to silent killers.
The
And
strong
so,
silent type.
right. And
Mm,
because he talked, it made it much more frightening for the audiences. Teenagers, though, they loved Nancy. They said she was a final girl who actually delivered and she
yeah,
wasn't like helpless.
sure.
And teens were part of the group that actually drove those numbers up because they did repeated watches. Like they would go with their friends and go over
Uh-huh.
and over and over again because they loved that movie so much. Because of this, Freddy became more popular than Jason and Michael Myers
Ooh,
because of his humor, his charm, and the fact that
his
he
charm.
was, yeah, yeah, humor, his
His
charm,
charm.
yeah, and the fact that he was both fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
Sure.
So the only thing I will say is that, and it's so funny because you said ambiguous and I also said ambiguous. The people did not like the ambiguous ending. Not all
Mm,
people. So many thought it was like clever and creepy, but there was a small group of people who found it very weird and didn't appreciate the lack of finality, with the viewer never knowing if Nancy was ever awake at all or if she had been dreaming the whole time.
right.
So, because it seems almost like this whole thing might have been a dream, but we don't know. So, yeah, that's that. I'll go into some
Fun,
fun facts.
fun
I will
facts.
preface this by saying there was a ton of fun facts and I did cut them down, but it still may seem like I'm saying a lot. So, I apologize in advance. And I don't have a TLDR because I can't. So, anyway, so Freddy's sweater was actually designed to hurt your eyes. So Wes Craven chose the red and green stripes because those colors, when they're side by side, they're the hardest for the human eye to process. And it makes Freddy feel visually wrong. And if you realize too, I didn't put this in here, but it is also one of the fun facts that, well, actually, it's a fun fact and a Mandela effect at the same time.
Mm,
Um, Freddy's sweater, they people see it often as red and black because they can't process that green. So there is a group of people who believe that his sweater is red and black, while there's another group of people who
what?
say it's red and green. Now, I have to say, I was one of those people for a very long time that thought it was red and black. I am.
What? You're
Yes.
blowing my mind right now.
And then at some point, I saw like a way later on, like a much later, like Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and I saw it was red and green. In fact, oh, you know what? I know exactly when it was. When I saw the remake with Jackie Earl,
Ugh.
that was very obviously a red and green sweater. And I was like, why is he wearing a red and green sweater? Because all this time I thought it was red and black. So I'm one of those people.
That's wild. So wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
So traditionally, we use a lot of red and green around Christmas. So I'm translating that to mean, so a lot of people forever thought the Christmas colors were red and black. Because I'm with that. I think that's cool. I like that. But I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, oh, so people thought it was like goth Christmas like all the time?
But
Because
if
like,
you
cool.
but if you realize when we do Christmas, the colors
Yeah.
aren't alternating. The colors are like you have like a green tree, you might have some red splotches, or you might have red bows or stuff, but there's never anything that's really red and green like like a candy cane or anything like that, or like his shirt. But when you put them back to back and you have them alternating, it just creates that weird visual
Huh.
effect.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So
Wild.
John Johnny Depp got the role because he looked dirty. Wes
Wait.
Craven. Now, like I had said, I had said earlier that he wasn't supposed to be there. He came with a friend, but they happened to see him and they took a picture of him and got a headshot. Wes Craven thought he was dirty, but his daughter said he was dreamy. And so, because the daughter said he was
Yeah.
dreamy, Wes Craven picked him.
He's
And that
like, come
was
here, kid, you look dirty.
right. He's like, he looked dirty. He definitely said he looked dirty.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I will say this, Tina's death scene and Rod, I'm not Rod. Tina and Glenn both had their death scenes in the same type of room.
Hmm.
It was a rotating room. They strapped the camera down. And for Tina, when the room was moving all around, she was just basically tumbling around the room as it was turning. Like Rod was in one place stationary, but the room was actually turning to give that effect of her sliding up the wall and across the ceiling and whatnot.
Uh,
With Glenn, that room that room was turned upside down to have the blood shooting up and out onto the ceiling. However, it almost killed everybody because
my God.
the blood came out too fast. It was too much of it, and it like the damaged like cameras and stuff like that. Everybody in production got soaked in the fake blood,
That's a
and
fun day at work.
yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty
If
bad.
the worst thing that happened to me today or moving forward was I got covered in blood at work, I would consider that a good day.
I
Not
would
real
not.
blood, not real blood,
I was about to say
guys.
you want to smell like a bag of nickels all day. Some pennies that have now been, put out of commission. Rest in peace, Penny.
Rest in peace.
Yes, in the name of
Rest
the
in
Father
peace.
and the Son and the Holy Spirit. I just blessed everybody.
Thank, thank
E.T.
you,
Jesus,
ETGs.
y'all.
Um, yeah, not no fake blood. Like that would be
Okay.
amazing. I'd be like, guess what happened to me at work today? Like I'd be hype. I'd be excited.
I
Like,
would I would not.
well,
I
I
don't I
know.
don't care.
It's the Virgo. It's the Virgo thing.
It is.
I got that psycho Sagittarius. Like, yeah, cover me in fake blood. I love that
Right?
shit. Yeah, I'm crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
go on.
So Freddie's glove was real metal and it was dangerous. Several times Robert England accidentally cut himself.
Oh no.
And also, the sparks are actually real too. They ran car battery cables under the walls and the pipes to create real sparks when the metal hit. So,
What?
yeah, that seems dangerous to me. It
That
seems like
seems
he would shock himself as he's doing that.
very dangerous.
But yeah,
Yes.
so I was like, that's crazy.
God damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
so Freddy originally had a whole different weapon. He did not have his hand with the razors. He was going to have a sickle.
That
And
seems cumbersome.
yeah. And so Wes Craven said, you know what? I don't like that. He picked the glove because he said he wanted something that was a bit more primal and handmade and
Mm,
tied to childhood fears. So this seemed a little bit more like it would be, scary.
right.
Also, New Line Cinema was like losing out. They were like on their last leg. And this movie saved that whole
Wow.
company. And they call New Line Cinema the house that Freddie built
Oh,
because he
that's
saved it.
cute. Thanks, Freddie.
Yes. Yeah. And
Oh.
also, my last fun fact, Freddy actually doesn't even appear in this movie much. It's very similar to Jaws, where you do not see the actual big bad at
Just like
all.
Jaws.
His actual runtime on the screen is about 7 minutes.
That's
Out
crazy.
of a 100, well, not 100, out of a 90-minute movie.
Out
It
of
was an hour, right?
175 million minutes.
It was an hour and 30 minutes, and he's on there for seven
That's
minutes.
wild. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
that
I
is
think
the end
that's
of
what
the fun
made it though.
facts.
That was
It
good.
did. And that's what they were saying. Like, this proved that, a little bit can go a long way. It's the same thing with Jaws. And did Jaws came out after that or before it? I don't remember. I think no,
Before.
was
Jaws was
Jaws
before. Jaws
it
came out in the
was?
70s. I just said that very
Oh,
New
okay.
York. You heard that? I was like, Jaws came out in the 70s.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, everyone. That was wild. I don't know where that came from. That came
From
deep,
you.
from deep within.
Okay.
Similar though also to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice was only in the original movie for like 17 minutes or
Oh,
something.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Uh,
these people, I mean, look, in the first Friday the 13th, Jason wasn't in it at all. So,
and I know, I always got mad rewatching that thinking he was going to be in it too. Like I would forget because being a teen and I'm like, we're going to watch Jason, watch the first one. I'm like, what the fuck? Like
right.
I would forget and get angry again and
But
just
yeah.
have Betsy. But yeah, no. All right. So, what are your thoughts and feelings about A Nightmare on Elm Street?
This was my first time seeing this in as a whole movie, like at one time.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember bits and pieces of this movie, but I don't remember ever watching it all together. Because I remembered the last scene of them getting in the car and riding off. I remember the blood scenes and the alleyway scenes, but I
Right.
don't there was a whole bunch of it I didn't remember. So I will say that similar to Poltergeist, this did keep my attention more than I thought it would. I think it was pretty fast paced fast moving
Oh,
movie. I mean, I also was thinking about when Tina got killed. There's no way in the world. There was a news team outside, and they showed a clear body bag with bloody arms coming out of the body bag on TV. There ain't
yeah.
no way they would ever did that. And I was like, oh my God. But that was like setting the tone for this movie for me. I was like,
Like,
this is gonna be
damn.
preposterous.
Yep.
Um, but no, I think that the acting was actually done pretty well. If not, some places were over the top. I think Nancy was sometimes over the top without, like she said, mother, and how she
That,
was like getting so mad at people so fast.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe she's a Capricorn.
ugh, let's hope not. Let's hope not. And I'm not sorry to any of the Capricorns watching. I don't like y'all. Um, y'all listen, y'all are literally like the spawn of Satan. Okay. Your
Alienating our audience.
your card in the tarot deck is the devil. So there you go.
I'm gonna spit my drink out.
Um, but I do think that it was a decent blend of things. I also think that they could have given a little bit more of that backstory. Hearing it through, and I think this is,
Marge.
yeah, hearing it through March, and I think that this is the problem. I saw the full remake before I've ever seen
Ugh.
this. Even though I knew the story and I've seen parts of it, and I've seen other Freddy movies. I just didn't see this first one. And so they gave much more backstory
They
in that
did.
one. And I appreciated that, even though they made him a PDF file, because he's not a PDF file in this one. He was just a unaliver.
That movie was so bad. I did watch that. That was one of the last things I kept giving sequel or reboots like a chance. And I think that was the last one where I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I can't. Mm-mm. That was god awful, that movie.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that great either. And I like Jackie Earl. I do, but
I
I
don't even
just
remember. I don't even remember that. I d
I remember it because his face was weird. And like I said, that was the first time I saw the green and red sweater.
hold on.
And they gave that backstory. The backstory that they gave just
Ugh.
colored it so much because they actually showed what happened. They showed the mob, they showed the burning. So that was way more like rich of a
Like,
story.
ugh, God, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I
I know
just
you're
looked up
looking
the
at the picture.
picture again.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I have to close this because I'm getting upset.
I'm I'm going to put it on the screen for y'all, so don't worry.
Well, I don't have to look at it then, so it's fine. But it's like it's this thing of this, like you have a franchise, right? And there's so many movies that came out with Robert Englund. Like Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger, period, for me,
Right.
right? So it's like when you take someone else and you make it look, he looks goofy. He look like he's like smiling and like crazy. Like, no, this is some Timu ass shit. I do not appreciate it. I will not acknowledge it. Looking at it is making me irate.
Yeah.
I can't. No, he looks like Lord Voldemort with
Oh my
more of a
God.
nose. Like I can't. I have to close this right
His
now. I'm
face
sorry.
is definitely very odd looking. It's more odd than the Robert Englund version of Freddy. So yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know what they did with
No,
that. But
I hate it.
I wish in this movie they gave a bit more backstory. And I also wish that we knew a bit more about what parents did what, because
Yes.
I'm gonna say this too. Glenn never had a dream. He
No.
never said he had a dream, but he still was
Uh-uh.
killed. And it's like his parents weren't necessarily involved. Freddie was going after people who were on that block because that neighborhood unalived him.
Right.
But he never had a dream. So why was he even affected? I mean, just because he was connected to Nancy and Nancy's parents were played a huge role in
Yeah.
that situation. You know, I just wish that they would have explained a little bit more about what happened, who was a part of it, because that would have made more sense. Because if you saw Tina's parents were actually a part of it, and like they don't even have to do the backstory. If at they because they had a funeral scene for Rod, if at that funeral, because there is a scene where one of the parents looks back at the lieutenant and he looks at them. So maybe at the funeral they could come together and be like, it's happening again or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. To
You
give us
know,
like a little.
yeah. So you
I
know
agree with
which
that.
parents were a part of it. And it's like, you know, because two groups at that point had lost their children.
That was
So
one thing I did like about the only thing that I actually remember from the reboot was that they did give more about it. Like they actually gave almost like a little like reenactment,
yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying. They
little
showed you what
pieces.
happened.
That's all I remember. And that's all I want to remember.
To be honest, that's all I remember too. And I remember there were teenagers in it and they were unremarkable. And Yeah.
It's different when you take like Jason or Michael because it's a man in a mask. You need to have the right like frame, of course, but it's not the voice. The whole face changes because like you can't do it. Leave it alone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like
And you had like, it was like seven different people who played Jason.
yeah.
So, I mean,
But all
yeah.
he had to do was like "Merp," like he just
Right.
had to.
Right. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good watch. I probably wouldn't necessarily watch it again. Not in a bad way, but I mean,
You're
once you
over it.
see it, yeah, once you see it, it's like, okay, cool. So that's all I can say. How do you feel?
I feel great. No. I love this movie. I think Jason was the first ever slasher I saw, but this was the second. And this was one I specifically remember I was in, must have been like a middle school, and one of my cousins came for like a week. So every night it was like total sleepover madness, like renting movies, eating so much popcorn, drinking chocolate soda. Delicious, by the way. Just
Mm.
saying. I haven't seen it. It's probably gives you cancer. But anyway, this was one that I remember going to the store and like renting, not from Blockbuster, but it was like little mom and
Uh,
pop,
oh
like
wow.
yeah, like you take the case, you're like, I want this movie, whatever. And I just remember even loving it then and not being super scared. And I remember my cousin being terrified and being like, what? I don't want to go to the bathroom. I'm afraid. I'm like, you tell him he's just a dream and you tell him to fuck off. Like I immediately was like, I got this. I got this. It was still spooky though. It's definitely iconic. I love the practical effects. I love how original they got with it. I love Robert Englund's portrayal of this character. I love it more as it becomes silly, as he becomes silly, right? Which is not so much this movie. Like we
No.
started off kind of aggressively. But as it goes on, it gets like ridiculous. And I just love, like you're saying, his charm, his quintessential Freddy. Like not necessarily my favorite movie, but my favorite incarnation of Freddy is almost like the Freddy versus Jason Freddy. Not for the storyline. I was just having a very in-depth conversation with someone very recently about how much they hated Freddy versus Jason so much, like so much. And it was very well put together argument, but just the silliness of Freddy within it, right? His one-liners, the way he went about things, it's just I just love it. And I know that's not the movie we're talking about today, but I'm just saying just the way he built the character. A little overacted here and there, but original story, Wes Craven did a great job. The effects, Robert Englund. I love it. I there's so much to love. I don't really have anything more specific than that to add. Well, is it time? Is it time to say how many ET Jesuses we're gonna give?
Of course. How many ET Jesuses with their bloody axes do you give A
That's
Nightmare on Elm Street from
terrifying.
1984?
That's absolutely terrifying. E.T. Jesus with a bloody axe is too
Right.
much. All right. Are you gonna go? Am I gonna go? Who's gonna go?
You can go first.
I'm gonna give this a nine. I'm gonna come in hot at a nine for all the reasons I said. We don't need to rehash them. What about you?
I'm giving it a seven.
Okay.
While it kept my attention, like Poltergeist, I didn't find it as compelling as Poltergeist,
Poltergeist.
so a Poltergeist. So yeah,
We gotta
so
watch that one. Yep.
right. So it gets a seven. So I think a seven and a nine is fair,
Okay.
you know?
I like it. Not mad
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have anything else we want to add? Are we gonna bring it home?
No, we can bring it on home if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Alrighty. So, cool fiends. That brings us to the end of our stroll down Elm Street, where the houses are pristine, girls jump rope for eternity, and the sins of the parents always come back dragging razor blades.
Mhm.
What did you think about Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street? Did it keep you awake at night, or did you sleep like a corpse? Let us know down below. And if you'd like to take a ride with us in the Freddy Mobile, make sure you click subscribe, like the video, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss a single terrifying trip with us. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Horror Ghouls, and you can fall asleep to the sounds of our voices on your favorite podcast platform of choice.
Yes, you can.
Yes. So, with that said, stay spooky. Remember that vodka does not change the fact that you killed a man, burned him alive, and he's now returned for revenge.
Mm-mm.
And if you notice that your dead friends and mother are suddenly alive and well, maybe you fell asleep for a little too long.
All right, see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.